CleanSpark coming down over 8% this morning. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the other Bitcoin miners, Bitcoin a little bit. We're going to touch on that as well. Let's get into it. This is going to be a bit of a shorter one. Go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe if you've been with us a while and haven't done so yet. You could have seen something like this coming. We've been talking about it for days here. And let's get right into it. Okay, so we're down 8% today. This is not surprising whatsoever from the news on Friday. We saw this coming. We saw this bear flag a while ago. As it's been coming down, I've been saying I think it's going to keep going lower and lower. And on Friday and over the weekend, I made a pretty angry video with what they had announced over the long weekend, and they're being punished for that announcement. People don't like it. And it doesn't matter what your feelings are on this situation and on that announcement. The results are people don't like it. It's very clear. We're going to look here in a couple of weeks when the institutional investments are announced for the month, when they're all, all their filings are in, and see how many of them are holding on to CleanSpark these days. If we're seeing an exodus of the big boys out of CleanSpark, I'm going to be a little weary about this one. So keep your eyes on that. I'll keep my eyes on it as well. We do understand now the comments got pretty heated the other day. We do understand, most of us at least, and I'll repeat it again, that they have not done the dilution yet. That's why the CEO is saying, well, this isn't dilution, because it isn't right now, but it is a marker of potential future dilution, or at least the intention to dilute in the future. And that is what's driving this. The market is forward looking. If there is potentially anything in the future, they're going to take that into consideration, and that consideration right now is that there is dilution on the horizon as far as the market is concerned, and they are dumping this stock. Now, us retail investors aren't really enough to dump this stock by 8% in a single day, so keep that in mind. It's it's a few billion-dollar company. I don't know, and it's owned what, like 60% or something, or maybe 40 something percent by institutions. I'm actually going to check right now. Let's see, 46% is owned by institutions. Okay, there's likely some institutional selling going on in here right now because of this. Okay, that's just something to keep in mind. My lows are still in mind here, 980. I mean, it really just needs to drop $1.20 more in the next week or two before it hits that zone where I'd be willing to reload on my shares and buy a little bit more. If you're a DCA kind of person, like, I'm not giving up on CleanSpark yet. Some people may have taken that video I released over the weekend as like I'm giving up on CleanSpark. I'm not giving up on CleanSpark, but I'm watching them more closely. I am expecting more from them. I'm going to be more critical of them if they want to issue more shares, and honestly, that's deserved. I'm an investor. I have to be shrewd. I have to be very, they need to take this seriously. They need to really take into consideration, are you going to get me a return on my capital? You're selling me a security. The whole point of a security is to give money to a company with the expectation of a greater return than what I gave. Okay, I'm not getting that right now. And the more they dilute, the less of that I am going to get. So I'm going to be critical. I'm going to be mean if necessary in that respect. I will cut them. I know they don't care about me specifically. Like, I'm talking like they actually care about. They don't care about me. They don't care about any of us. But our dollars will speak louder than our words when it comes to these companies. So we don't ever get emotional about these things. We don't get married to these stocks. They are tools. That's all they are. They're just tools for making money. If one isn't very good at making money, go find another tool that is good at making money. Okay, that's what we do here. That's the only reason we're in this market, is to make money. If you mess with my ability to make money, I will go somewhere that isn't, or that is making me money. Okay, that's it. That's all it is. That's all I wanted to say about CleanSpark. But like I said, as long as they stick to their roadmap, they continue to grow, I do see them coming back up into like the 15, 18, even the $20 range. Okay. We talked a little bit about market cap before in terms of how that will be affected by that. Right now they have a little over 250 million shares, meaning that they need $250 million for every single dollar on their stock in terms of valuation. So if they dilute up to 600, I'm not saying that they have or that they will dilute all the way up to 600. Okay. But we do know that they're going to go past 3, because the previous one was 300 and they upped it to 600. So they're going to go past 3. We know that for sure. Otherwise, they wouldn't have raised it. Okay, we know that's going to happen. Meaning there's at least at minimum another 50 million shares to be added to CleanSpark at some point in the future that we don't know yet. Okay, so that's it. And at that time, then they will need $300 million per dollar of share price. If they go up to the full 600, then $600 million of market cap to get $1 per share on the share price. And that just makes it exponentially more difficult for the price to get above this range that it got stuck in all of this year. Okay, that's it. It's just math. It's just math. They're making the math make less sense in terms of holding if they were to dilute that much. I'm looking at CleanSpark potentially coming to like the $8 range, potentially tapping it on its way down and then going up again. That's it. That's all. I do see it getting back into like the $15 to $18 range, maybe even 20s. Again, that's entirely possible, even if they were to dilute further, even if they were to, go to like 400 million shares. Now, again, they haven't yet, but even if they were to, 400 million shares, turning that into like a $20 thing, not the worst scenario in the world. Like, okay, let's see, 20. So how much market cap would they need at 20? So they need $400 million. So it's 400 times 20. If that were the situation, they would need an $8 billion market cap in order to get back up to $20 if they issued that many shares. Okay, if so, which would still make them bigger than any other Bitcoin miner has ever been before at $8 billion. But I mean, that's within the realm of possibility. Okay, so even if they were to dilute that far, I'd still be confident in them getting back to $20, which would be more than a 100% up move from current prices. Okay, so it's not all doom and gloom. There is still potential for like 100% return on this thing or more, but they're just being annoying. Okay, that's it. That's all it is. They're being annoying. They're making their use as a tool a little bit less effective, and I don't like that. And that's it. That's all it is. Okay, moving on. Let's take a look at IREN. Let's take a look at IREN. This is a hammer that's been hammering, proving that it is capable of being a pretty good hammer. Anyways, I don't know if I'm going to edit this correctly for that to make sense, but bear with me. Anyways, we came up onto the mid ATR band on that. We're getting rejected a little bit on that. We're down 4%. Now, I think this probably has something to do with Bitcoin. We'll look at Bitcoin next just to check that out. But we're not that far off. We are still in a bit of a flagging pattern on this thing. As long as we don't go below, let's say like 725, we're still going to be chilling on this pretty decently. So IREN, I'm not too concerned about IREN. It could make a return back down to like 660, 670, and that really wouldn't bother me. I'd just double down on IREN, to be honest. And that's it for IREN. I like what it's doing here. It's not like having a big dramatic sell-off. It could, consolidate in this area, maybe even form something like a double bottom. Like if we were to come down here and like come to like bottom, come over here like this, another bottom, and then like take off, like that'd be pretty cool for IREN. So I'm not too concerned about that. I still am not upset about this chart at this time, unless they have like some really bad news that comes through soon. I don't know. Let's see, Bitcoin, I don't know what to say about this on the daily. It keeps failing at 60 right now. So ever since August 27th, it's just been coming up and failing at 60 over and over again. So it hit it once, twice, kind of 3 times. It hits it the next time it hits 60. I do expect it to go over and maybe close above it. But for now, it's on its way down. I don't like that candle pattern. Like there's this nice bullish engulfing. Well, you know what? I don't hate it. So Bitcoin, so I do like this formation here. And I was going to say, let's see, as long as this stays here like this, like inside the body of this big engulfing bullish candle here, that's actually not the worst. We get a couple of inside bars that's showing a bit of like indecision, but as long as it stays in here, preferably it stays in like the top half, which is kind of, drifting down beyond right now. So if it were to if we get like an inside bar or 2 or 3 inside the top half of this bullish engulfing candle here, I'd be feeling pretty confident about that move up. Kind of like back here, like, okay, I know this one was pretty wild, but like, let me show you. So about right here, let me get the ruler actually. Okay, so right here, this candle right here from August 8th, right? We had this big boy come in, and we got 2 candles that went below the midpoint, but these for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 days we were printing inside bars on that big bullish engulfing candle. 14 days. And that resulted in a big, not a big, but a pop up. Pretty dramatic, not a huge one. It was what? Let me see. There we go. it was a 6% pop-up it resulted in, which is not bad. It's not like amazing for Bitcoin, but it's not bad. So that's what I'm looking for right now. So we are outside of this ascending channel right here. So I'm going to go ahead and say that that one's done. We're on the middle of this descending channel, and we're holding this, and we are printing something of, this isn't a bear flag, because notice how it's pointing down, like it's going in a downward move, and when we get a downward channel, a descending channel, it tends to break to the upside. So I do expect this to at some point break to the upside, hopefully sooner than later, but we'll see with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an animal. It does what it wants. One thing I need to bring to your attention, because I just got an alert on it, was TMF. Remember, this is the month of rate cuts. TMF is up 5% today. Notice, I mean, whew, man, that was big drop off on Friday to a big pop up today. I'm looking for it to break this red trend line here, and then I'm going to go pretty hard on TMF through the rest of the year, maybe into the first quarter of 2025. I'm expecting at least two rate cuts coming through this year. Maybe 3. We'll see if they have enough meetings. I have to even check if they have enough meetings to do 3. I just said that. I don't know. I need to look. I need to always, always be reminding myself of things. I always forget stuff. Anyways, yeah, it's got to get above this red line here, and that's when I'm going to start saying, hey, I'm looking at this hard. I'm probably going to buy some leap options out into next year on TMF once I get there. But I have been, anyone looking for like basically a guaranteed home run, TMF is probably there. And now, of course, none of this is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, hold any asset whatsoever. It's simply for informational and educational purposes here at the Trade Cave. That's just my idea, my thought here. I'm going to be doing that with TMF once it gets there. NVIDIA. One more thing with NVIDIA. Whew, I didn't talk about this yet. I was actually looking at day trade. Hold on. Let me get rid of my day trading stuff. There we go. It's gone. Daily. All right. NVIDIA on the daily. NVIDIA is on a crash course with about $109. About $109. That's where I'm expecting this thing to kind of base out for a little while and then move its way up. That's where I'm going to sell my next put. It gets down to $109. Honestly, it gets down to $110. I'll sell a 108 put for about a month out, and I'll just let that ride. That's what I'm looking at right now. If I turn on the EMAs, I bet you it's going to hit like a 20. Let me see here. Actually, I'll turn on my fib clouds, and I'll go to my settings, and I'll turn on SMA number 2, right? Yeah, SMA number 2. I'll turn on SMA number 2. Okay. Oh, it's below the 20. That's interesting. Okay, where's the 50? SMA number 3, turning it on. It's below the 50. Oh my, that's a problem. Yeah, so we just sliced right through the 50. We did like a little bear flag and then boom, down to the 50. So actually, I'm a little bit more concerned about this now than I was a second ago. So let's take a look. Where's the 200s down by that pink line? How are we on Bollingers? Let's go ahead and turn this guy on over here. How are we on the Bollingers for the daily? Bollingers are all the way down there. Ooh, boy, that's going to suck. All right, so never mind. I'll wait till it gets to 109, and then I'm going to sit and wait and see what happens. I take that back. I will not be selling it immediately. I will be waiting for it to get to 110 and see how it reacts at 110. If it bounces, then I'll consider selling a put. If it does not bounce, then I am going to be sitting on my hands on this one and seeing how far down it goes. Because if we know anything about NVIDIA, we know that it can dump pretty hard, and it has done so in the past. Keep in mind that the formation it is making right now is a double top. So we came up here, right? Top, top. We get past this area right here, like in the 90s, we get past 90, that's your double top. We make that formation. The base of that double top is going to come all the way down to like $60. Now, I don't see NVIDIA doing that. That would be crazy, right? That'd be insane. But the potential is there. I'd see it probably coming closer to like 75, maybe 74, and then going back up if it forms that double top. And the thing that makes me a little more concerned about this double top in particular is because there is another double top right here. Notice this double top right there, top, top, boom, all the way down to the largest support, which is down here. And I just pointed out the largest support to you on this chart below this major double top here, which is all the way down here at $50. So could we see that kind of retracement on NVIDIA? Absolutely we could. Are we going to? Not likely. They're going to announce something between now and then. They're going to be like, they're going to see like price get down to like 90. They're like, Blackwell's coming. It's here. And then it'll shoot right back up to $150. So like, I'm not too concerned about that necessarily, but if it does start forming candles underneath $90, I will start to get a little bit nervous because this area right here, there's no support here. We could slice right through that all the way to the bottom. We could. So this is not a doom and gloom video. Wait for NVDA to get to 110. Reassess it there. That's what I'm doing. That's all I'm saying right now with that. Now, I'm getting kind of eclectic today. Mara, I haven't talked about Mara. Mara finally broke that ascending channel. Boo, you broke the ascending. Why'd you do this? $16 on Mara though. That speaks to me. I like that. $16 on Mara. Oof, I kind of like that. So Mara, yeah, they have an ATM out as well. Of course they do. They've been taking debt to buy Bitcoin. I actually kind of like that. That's kind of what MicroStrategy is doing, and everybody loves them. I don't dislike this at $16. I'm gonna wait, obviously, because it's still in this pretty rough downtrend. So I will wait. Let's take a look. How's the fibs? What's the fibs looking like? Yeah, because this is our first candle solidly away from the mid ATR band. We could come and retest 15. So I'll wait and see what happens. It's kind of a wait and see kind of week. We're looking for the lows here. That's what we're doing. We're hunting lows right now because it's September. Septembear is here. It's the first trading day of Septembear, and they're going to demoralize us. And you better believe they're demoralizing me right now. Look at that, 4% down on this thing. TMF up 5% because like everything's pandemonium. CleanSpark down like 9%. NVIDIA down 5% in one day. Like, yeah, they're doing a proper job of ringing in the bell on Septembear. So remember your seasonality. Remember that we often find lows around this time of year, and sometime around the back end of October, maybe the front end of October this year because of rate cuts. So keep your eyes open there. We start seeing some turnaround on this stuff right now. See, like Mara right now, like look at this. All right, so watch what I'm about to do right now. You're gonna like this. Mara, okay, so we came down, right? We did a bottom, double bottom there, right? Went up, but there's also this double bottom here, right here, boom, bottom. 15 would be another bottom, and then we cross that threshold right here. Oh boy, we got room all the way up into the mid-20s again, maybe even higher. So that's what we're looking at. That's what we're doing. If you buy in at 15 and you sell at 22, that's a pretty sweet gain. You're looking at $7 of gain in there. You buy 100 shares, it's $700. That's pretty sweet. You know, off of a $1,500 investment, that's a pretty sweet gain. So let's not be too greedy there in that respect. At least especially over a short period of time. All right. Anyways, let's take a look at something else. US 10Y versus the 2-year. Okay, so we're going to add the 2-year on here, and we'll go US 02Y, not 2Y. Remember, you got to add that 0, otherwise it gets all mad at you. Anyways, so let's take a look at this. Let's turn it on to a line chart. So are we uninverted yet? No, we're not. Great. I'm going to be checking this all the time now, until we uninvert. Once we uninvert, that is when the clock is on for a recession. Okay, once this thing uninverts, that's when there is a countdown timer counting down to a recession. Will it come this year? Probably not. Will it come next year? Maybe not. Maybe the back end of 2025. We've got it. The market's going to get absolutely juiced by the politicians because they got all their elections coming up. So they want you to be happy, and for you to be happy, they need to give you money. Just, you know, you got to go spend daddy's money for a year before you run out of it, and then when you run out of it, they're like, sorry, come back again in 3 years when we need you to vote for us. And the Fed is also going to be playing nice for now with that agenda, because guess what happens in like a year and a half or something? They're up for reappointment. So they would like the new incoming politicians to remember, hey, we weren't aggressive on the tightening cycle when you needed to get elected. Reappoint us. So there's that as well. So we're at a point in time where, yes, we may see an inversion, but we might not see a recession for like 12 to 18 months, honestly, because at the point in time when it's coming right now is generally a time, now this is not guaranteed, of course, but it is generally a period of time when the market's getting juiced. And by that, I mean the market is getting liquidity, and liquidity floats all boats. So I am watching this, and I'm watching it every single day, but it is not because I think a recession will instantly hit. It is because that is when I start counting. That is when I start being more careful. That is when a rug can get pulled out from beneath me at any moment. It's not likely to happen real soon, but it could happen at any time, because even with them adding so much liquidity to the market, it is in a fragile place once this uninverts. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay, so that's all I've got for you today. This is a little more subdued, kind of off the cuff video today. I hope it was able to be followed to some degree. But with that said, please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description as well as the channel bio, and have a profitable day.